Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Before we dive into today's story, we just wanted to take a quick second to say thank you all for watching. We truly appreciate your support. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, it's totally free, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest stories. Now, with all that said, let's jump straight into the story. When I first saw the house, I knew it was meant to be mine. It was an old Victorian mansion, standing tall with its grand wraparound porch and intricate wood carvings on the railings. The faded blue paint and slightly crooked shutters only added to its charm. It had character, history, something no modern house could ever offer. The inside was even more breathtaking. High ceilings with chandeliers that glistened under the golden light, dark wooden floors that creaked ever so slightly, and walls covered in elegant floral wallpaper. The grand staircase curled upward, leading to rooms filled with antique furniture left behind by the previous owners. There was a library with shelves stretching to the ceiling, a cozy parlor with a crackling fireplace, and my favorite, the master bedroom, with a bay window overlooking the vast garden and shimmering pool. I imagined the memories I would create in this house: holidays, late-night talks with friends, peaceful mornings with coffee in hand. Everything felt perfect. It was only after I moved in that I noticed an eerie stillness at night, as if the house was listening. Sometimes I thought I heard whispers when I walked past certain rooms, but I always brushed it off. Old houses make noise, I told myself. Eager to fill the house with life, I planned a housewarming party. I invited my closest friends, promising an unforgettable night. If only I had known how true that promise would be. The day of the housewarming party arrived, and I was beyond excited. I had spent the entire week preparing, decorating the house with warm lights, setting up the backyard with comfy seating by the pool, and making sure there was enough food and drinks to keep my guests happy all night. My friends started arriving around 8 p.m., bringing bottles of wine, champagne, and beautifully wrapped housewarming gifts. Laughter filled the house, the music pulsed through the walls, and for the first time since moving in, the house felt truly alive. Everyone was having a great time. We danced in the living room, talked about old memories, and enjoyed the night like we didn't have a care in the world. Eventually, I decided to move the party outside to the garden. The pool shimmered under the soft glow of the string lights, and before long, a few of my friends had stripped down to their swimsuits and jumped into the water, turning it into an impromptu pool party. Then, just after midnight, everything changed. Without warning, the music cut off, and the entire house was swallowed in darkness. A few people let out startled gasps, and for a moment, all I could hear was the sloshing of water in the pool and the hushed murmurs of concern. "Probably just a fuse," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. "I'll go check the fuse box." "I'll come with you," said Liam, one of my closest friends. He was always the logical one, never easily spooked, and right now, I needed that. We made our way through the house, the beam of my flashlight cutting through the darkness. Every step echoed in the silence, and for the first time the house felt wrong. I tried to shake off the feeling. We reached the fuse box in the basement, and after a quick check, everything seemed fine. No blown fuses, no obvious problems. Then, as if mocking us, the lights flickered back on. Liam and I exchanged confused glances. "Guess it was the power company," he said with a shrug. But as we turned to head back, my stomach dropped. Every wall in the basement was covered in words. Dark red letters smeared across the surface like something straight out of a horror movie. The messages were terrifying. "Get out now. We're watching you. You're not welcome here." I stumbled back, my breath caught in my throat. The scent of copper filled the air. This wasn't paint. This wasn't a prank. Liam cursed under his breath, his face pale. "We need to get out of here." But the worst part, I could feel it. A presence, watching, waiting, and the night was far from over. Liam and I stood frozen in the basement, staring at the blood-red messages smeared across the walls. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. But what could we do? Tell everyone? Cause mass panic? No, that wouldn't help. "We don't say anything," Liam whispered, gripping my wrist. "Not yet." I hesitated, but nodded. Maybe it was a sick prank, some twisted joke by the previous owners or a group of squatters who had broken in before I moved here. Maybe. We left the basement, forcing smiles as we rejoined the party. The music had come back on, and people were still laughing, dancing, and drinking. For a moment, I convinced myself that everything would be fine. But the house had other plans. It started subtly, a wine glass sliding off the table on its own, a picture frame crashing to the floor when no one was near it. At first, people brushed it off, blaming the wind or clumsy hands. But then the shadows came. Dark figures moved along the walls, darting from room to room, too fast to be human. One of my friends, Jessica, let out a shriek. "Did you see that?" she gasped, pointing toward the hallway. A loud bang cut her off. The front door slammed shut with such force that the walls trembled. The laughter died. The music glitched and warped into an eerie, distorted hum before stopping completely. And then, the pool. The calm water began to churn, forming a whirlpool right in the center. The ripples turned into violent waves, sloshing over the edges as if something was rising from beneath. People screamed and scrambled away, backing up against the locked doors and windows. I ran to the back door and grabbed the handle. It wouldn't budge. "Open the damn door!" someone shouted, pounding on the glass. I can't," I stammered, trying to force it open. Liam yanked at one of the windows, but it was as if they had all been sealed shut by an invisible force. We were trapped. Panic spread like wildfire. The shadows in the house grew darker, stretching across the walls like grasping fingers. The air became thick and suffocating, the temperature dropping so fast that our breath came out in misty puffs. And then, above the chaos, a deep voice rumbled through the house. A whisper, yet loud enough to shake the walls. "You should not be here." I felt the blood drain from my face. We were no longer welcome, and I had no idea how to get us out. The whisper echoed through the night, sinking into my bones like ice. "You should not be here." Then, as if the house had made its decision, the pressure in the air shifted. A loud creaking sound filled the space, and suddenly, the doors and windows burst open. A rush of cold wind howled through the garden. For a split second, there was silence. Then, chaos. Screams erupted as people bolted toward their cars. Drinks were knocked over, chairs flipped, and the sound of hurried footsteps pounded against the ground. Some didn't even bother grabbing their belongings, they just ran. I watched as headlights flicked on, engines roared to life, and one by one, my friends sped away into the night, desperate to put as much distance between themselves and the house as possible. Liam grabbed my hand. "We need to go, now." But I couldn't move. I stood frozen, staring at the house, my house. The windows seemed darker now, like empty eyes watching me. The pool, now still, reflected the night sky as if nothing had happened. The messages inside the house, the shadows, the voice, it was as if it had only wanted to send a message. I wasn't welcome. I swallowed hard, finally forcing my feet to move. I grabbed my keys from the patio table and ran to my car. I didn't even look back as I drove away. By the next morning, I had already made my decision. I couldn't stay in that house, not another second. I called a real estate agent and put it on the market immediately. I didn't care if I had to sell it at a loss. I just needed to be rid of it. A few weeks later, the house was sold. I never told the new owners about what had happened. Maybe that was selfish of me, but I didn't have the energy to explain something I didn't fully understand myself. All I knew was that something lived in that house. Something old, something angry, and now it was someone else's problem. But sometimes late at night, I wonder, was I really free of it? Or was it still watching me, waiting for the day I return? I hope I never have to find out.
Ready for spine-chilling tales that will haunt your thoughts? Subscribe to Forgotten Storyteller for eerie narrations, unsettling mysteries, and haunting stories you won't forget. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a story, because some stories refuse to stay buried. Join us, if you dare.